My favorite thing about trees is that they have branches. I like the same in Pokemon. Branched Pokemon evolutions are great. I sure love having choices when it comes to evolving my little guys, except for Wurmple. I mean, I do love the Wurmple evolutions, but I have found 4 shiny Wurmple and 3 of them evolve into Cascoon. For goodness gracious, can I please have a fucking Silcoon? I just want my shiny family. Is that so much to ask? There are some Pokemon out there that I would like to see an alternate evolution for. That's the other thing with branched evos. Do you love Gloom but can't stand Vileplume? Well, here you go. Dancing Flower Lady it is. I've picked 3 Pokemon to give new evolutions to, so let's evolve them. And also subscribe to my channel. The first creature I will be evolving today is Slugma, and don't you dare say the thing in the comments. Behave, you. Slugma is a Pokemon that I don't think I have ever used, and that's mostly because I don't really vibe with Magcargo. So sorry, just not my thing. I want to see Slugma turn into something really disgusting, like some bigger slug, I guess. I also want to try out a different angle on the volcano/magma theme. Instead of going down the Lahar angle that Magcargo does with the rocky debris, I kinda want to go down a more venomous route, emphasizing on the gases from volcanic eruptions. The body itself wasn't terribly difficult to draw in, although I did have a few goes at its lovely locks because I wanted them to be extended from Slugma, but you know, not the exact same. I initially had this winged look, but you know, not vibing, so I tried again and again until I settled on this like gloopy venom drip sort of thing, and honestly, banger. I'm in love. For the eyes, instead of round friends like the originals have, I gave it more of an angled look. Slugma is a Gen 2 Pokemon as well, so it kind of fits. I also placed the eyes on the first bulbous part of the hair. I guess that's kind of what it is. There's something inherently Furfrou about this look. Like, I can't really tell what, but I hope you can see it too. Is it Furfrou core? Once I had my sketch in order, I went into the coloring. We kinda on a roll. I'm having a good time, alright? It has the same base red as Slugma and Magcargo, but to further separate it from its pre-evolved form and evolved counterpart, I gave it some purple accents which also help really emphasize the poison part of this evolution. Magcargo's accent is the sort of blue-gray shell, and I think that these purple parts really complement that in a sort of way. I did a bit of blending of the colors in my sketch so that I had a reference for how I wanted the design to look when I did my final polish as well. Finally, I gave the eyes the same color as the other two, and just like that, Slugma's new evolution was done. Before we take a look at it in its full glory, we do gotta see what other Pokemon are about to evolve, such as Finneon. I bet you didn't expect that, unless you got the Finneon thumbnail, in which case you fully expected this. Actually, maybe not everyone knows this, but each of my videos start with 3 thumbnails, and it's random whichever one you see, so let me know in the comments what Pokemon you saw in the thumbnail for this video, and check back in a couple weeks to see what thumbnail ends up being the winning one. I'm beginning to see a trend across my new branched evolutions, and that is when I start out my sketch, the first thing I do is take the basic Pokemon and just make it bigger, a Biggion. For this evolution of Finneon, I really want to make more of a parallel to moth wings rather than butterfly wings. It is also stated that Lumineon crawls on the seafloor with its little feet, or you know, fins as they are biologically called, and so I want to have a Pokemon that goes even deeper, for reasons currently unknown. I think I actually did alright with not making this just look like a Finneon clone. If anything, it kinda gives Mega Finneon, which would be kinda hilarious if that were ever a thing in the future. I mean, you never know. Perhaps we'll have Lysander's Finneon in the future. Absolutely. The prophecies, they write themselves. The evolution has these dazzling lashes, not quite as dazzling as Bruxish, but dazzling nonetheless. When I started to draw in the patterns, I really cemented a design theme with this Pokemon being the moon. This also really perfectly fit into my moth narrative. Also, Finneon's line comes from Sinnoh, which is land of Cresselia, so it all just makes a lot of sense. Lumineon's accent accent colors are all very much taken from the teal part of Finneon with a slight dash of hot pink. For this evolution, I flipped that accent the other way. I made the hot pink more dominant and added spots of teal. It did take me several tries to get the accent detail looking just how I envisioned it, but I got there in the end, thankfully. It's very lunar. It's just how I wanted it to look. It's almost the Lunar New Year, so it all comes together in a new Pokemon adventure. Now, finally, it is a Pokemon that we have actually seen before on this channel, Primeape. Little known fact about me, I love the Mankey line. Like, I genuinely love it. I used Mankey and Primeape in a Nuzlocke way back in 2023, and she served me very, very well. Although she died in the Elite Four, so rest in peace, Zoe. Primeape's whole thing is that it's very angry, and that rage is restrained by its bracelets and anklets. In 2024, I made a video where I Gigantamaxed middle stage Pokemon, and Primeape was one of them. I had it mid-death where it just kind of looked like a bomb, so yeah. Annihilape is a really clever evolution in that Primeape's rage becomes unleashed and is no longer bound by a physical form. Basically, Primeape dies, RIP Zoe. It also gains the ghost type as a result. Awesome. For my branched evolution, I want to again relieve Primeape of its bound rage, but instead of it exploding into a ghost type, I want to alleviate its pain. This evolution will be like a free spirit, a guru, perhaps Guru from Despicable Me. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. I tried out a few initial ideas. The pose was pretty much cemented from the start, but I did experiment on design details, especially in regards to the existence of its braces, and then where all of its fur would end up. I want it to be crying tears of joy, or have that sort of design theme going on, hence the mile-long lashes. Eventually, I reworked the top of the body shape and also the ears and fur. I gave it very gentle attention. The fur flows in a serene way with big round shapes that situate the creature in some kind of serene state. It's an interesting juxtaposition with Annihilape because that Pokemon also has flowy fur, but the slight jaggedness at the tips of each lock, like they really give you a sense of it being a spiritual consequence of its ghostly form. My evolution is mortal, so I can't rely too heavily on those same design tropes. I need to keep it somewhat grounded, somewhat bodily. An angle I went down was actually tying the fur into a knot that would resemble a soothe bell. This detail started off pretty literal, but then I redeveloped it into something that looked more natural and passing for an animal species. This also gave me a good opportunity to add some flowy bits, which draws a parallel to the Soothe Bell's ribbon. Now time for the color, which was very straightforward. I kept Primeape's original fur coloring, but also added the frosted tips that Annihilape has. I used a light green for the limbs, which is secondary to the blue on Annihilape and nearly complementary to Primeape's dusty orange. It was also during the coloring stage that I decided to remove the shackles that once bound Primeape, and instead I used the color that I chose for them to be the color of the feet, blending with the legs. Okay, it is now time to take a look at our brand new branched Pokemon evolutions. I'm really excited for these ones. Firstly, it is Venomous, the acrid Pokemon, and a fire poison type. It has the abilities Corrosion and Flame Body. It evolves from Slugma when brought to an active volcanic environment. If it were in a game where this wasn't possible, then a Firestone will do just fine. Venomous has no nostrils and therefore cannot smell its odor, which is so pungent it can end a Skarmory's life. It leaves trails of its venom behind as it slithers to its nest. The scent released from those prints ensures Venomous will not be followed. Next, from Challenger Deep, we have Lunimion, the albedo Pokemon, and a water-ice type. It has the abilities Swift Swim and Ice Scales. It evolves from Finneon starting at level 31 while knowing an Ice-type move. Alternatively, in Hoenn and Unova, you can level it up whilst underwater. It can absorb moonlight from up to 5 miles away from the surface of the ocean. It uses the icy surfaces of its body to reflect that light on the sea floor. Lunimion harvests its power from the moon. It lives very deep underwater and has scales made of pure ice. And lastly, we have Alleviape, the saved monkey Pokemon, and a pure fairy type. It just has one ability, being Pixelate. It evolves from Primeape when its friendship is maxed while holding a Soothe Bell. Once it evolves, the Soothe Bell will disappear. After consuming its Soothe Bell, this Pokemon's heart has been released of all of its rage. It is constantly crying tears of relief. Alleviape no longer needs to fight. Its fur resembles the bell it consumed, and faintly chimes when it blows in the wind. So those are my lovely branched evolutions. Please let me know what you think of them in the comments below. I love to hear your thoughts. Also, just a heads up, I am not at home for like all of next week, so next week's video might be a day or two late. We'll see. I've been in and out of home like all month, but once I'm back, like from this trip, my traveling is all over. I'm getting locked in for 2026. Thank you as always for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every single Fakemon Friday or Saturday if you live on Mirage Island, just like me. Also, a massive thank you to all of our lovely channel members. I really appreciate your support. If you would like to join, then just click on the big join button below. You'll get some emotes and also you'll have your name on the big screen. Alrighty, I'm like leaving in 2 hours, so time to pack.